From Sigma Woman, this is the Business for Aligned Women podcast. I'm your host, Clara McKay, your aligned business coach and advocate for all things showing up for your vision. This is a no BS space for brave-hearted women who are actually craving change. I'm dedicated to bringing women's visions into reality, equipping women with all they need to build an abundant future, and shutting down all of the ways that you keep yourself small. Here, we're all about a women-centered approach, non-negotiable value alignment, and making bank without compromising your well-being. Each week, you're already one step closer to your most aligned and abundant future. 3 foundations that you need to build a magnetic and aligned brand and business. That's what we're going to get into today, and I'm going to be talking to you from really foundational kind of business acumen knowledge standards, but it's not things that any of my clients, maybe I've had one in 6 years, are clear on, and they're non-negotiable things that you must be clear on in order to run a business. Before we get into that, I want to remind you that I only have a couple of spaces left for my 6-month sustainable success system for energy aware business owners. This is a 6-month one-to-one container. It's supplemented with self-led masterclasses and WhatsApp support in between our calls. And everything that we do is highly individualized, but you will come out of it with everything you need to get you to the next level in business that you want to be at, whether that's at the very beginning or scaling or up leveling or introducing a new program, or maybe you want to learn how to launch properly, or maybe you want to launch a podcast and you want to do it in the most beneficial way possible. We do that in that program, and it won't be running again until March 2026. And if you're looking for a little taster, a little freebie, a little something, I do have a free cycle syncing workbook that connects with this program specifically, because in the Sustainable Success System, we do everything very intentionally and very energy aware, and we make sure that we're taking into account things like your phases of your cycle and how you're approaching business. And that cycle syncing workbook is going to give you what I like to call the strengths or the magic powers of each phase and the red flags of each phase that you really need to be aware of in business if you are someone who menstruates. So grab that in the show notes now. And if you're interested in the program, you can either book a call to chat with me about it, or you can secure your space directly on my website. Payment plans always available. So let's get into these 3 main foundations that I would say are missing from 99% of the women that I have worked with and that I can see in my community. I can tell from your social media that these are missing. Sometimes we have 1 or 2 of these sorted out, or sometimes we have none of them, but it's pretty rare that I come across someone who really clearly has them all laid out and understood and is actioning them on a routine basis. Sometimes people know these things, but they're like gathering dust in a drawer and they're not actively using them in their marketing materials. And that's going to have a big negative impact on sales and also growing a community. So these 3 things, I'm going to tell you what they are. And if you want to work them out on your own, you can. But if you want to have someone hold your hand through the process, I do have a training that does that. The people who've done that training have found it incredibly supportive. And I'd say like a huge chunk of those people just immediately go into coaching, because that makes them see their gaps in their business understanding and how they've been approaching their business. And also, you don't know what you don't know sometimes. You might not realize that there's these really big gaps that are causing the problems in your business. Now, these 3 things, they are the problem that is worth solving, that your business solves, your unique selling proposition, and your target market. So these need to be 3 things that you know, but also that you are committed to. They do not change. They do not change for the lifetime of your business. How you do business, your products, your ideas, your content, all that stuff can change. But these things are like the pillars that hold the whole thing up, and they never change. They are things that you have to really make sure you get the right ones, and you get ones that are aligned with you and that you're going to be excited to talk about and showcase in your business for hopefully over 20 years' time. And these are things I really want to reiterate this and make this very clear to you. I had a client this week say to me, "Oh, wow, it's so amazing that I know these top three things now." And she'd been chatting with a friend and she said to that friend, like, "Oh, it's really helpful if you work this out." And I was like, "Well, this isn't like some sprinkle that I put on coaching. This is absolute bare bottom basic business. And if you do not have these three things and you are not completely committed to them and they are not written on your bones, written in your blood, like you know them like the back of your hand, you know them inside out, you have memorized by heart every single aspect of them, you're not running a business, my love. You're not. You have a hobby, you have a project, but you're not running a business. Anyone who has even the tiniest awareness of business will ask you, what problem does your business solve? Who's your target market? What's your unique selling proposition? And if you don't know those things, like it's a joke, babe. This isn't me being fancy. This isn't me being special. This is a requirement. It's a non-negotiable requirement. And it's frankly, it's really, really wild how many people are trying to make money through a business and they haven't established these three things. No wonder it's hard, babe. No wonder it feels like an uphill battle. My God, you don't even have the right equipment. It's like you're trying to climb Mount Everest in your freaking Havaianas. Like, we need to actually get this sorted out. And if, when I say those three things to you, you go, oh gosh, I have no idea what they are, that is the biggest indicator that you need help ASAP. It's not something that you can put off. This should be way more of a priority than social media. This should be way more of a priority than working out what your offers are. This is the single most important thing that needs to be at the very top of your list before literally anything else. And I would say even before sales, because if you don't know those things, I would imagine that you're promising things that you might not be actually solving. And I would imagine that you might be getting clients who aren't really the right kind of clients for your business and they might be disappointed. If you're someone who's dealt with a lot of refund requests or disappointed clients, this is probably why, because you need to set those parameters for people so they know, oh, this is what I'm going to get out of this and that this person is for me. But if you don't know those things, you can't do that. So it's just full scattergun approach, and you're probably going to have some issues with that. Normally, I would say drop everything and focus on sales, but I'm saying literally this is more important than money because this is going to have a direct impact on how much money you're able to make and how much you're able to grow your community. These, when you know these three things, they answer the question, why should I buy this? And why should I buy this from you and not someone else? And if you hear those two questions and they freak you out a little bit, they shouldn't. They should be, again, written on your bones. They should be the simplest, most easeful, graceful, eloquent, inflow, concise responses where you're standing fully in your confidence. You're not convincing, you're not tricking, you're not lying, you're not manipulating. You are telling the whole truth and you are standing in your worth as you do that. If you don't know those three things, you're not going to be able to do that. Introducing the new Everything Done for You branding package. This is a package that I've put together after seeing what women really needed in their business to be able to hit the ground running, feel very confident, streamline their time, streamline their energy, and make running business easeful. In this package, you get a full new brand identity, you get social media templates that you can lock and load, plug and play with, that are all brand cohesive. You will get an on-brand website. You will get flow desk, email funnel, sales funnel templates that are all beautifully on brand and made specifically for your business. And you'll get a bonus. UX design and on-brand link in bio site. And you can get all of this for the fraction of what most studios charge for branding alone. This is your one-stop shop when it comes to completely rebranding and refreshing your business for brand cohesion so that you can connect with your target market wherever they are, build confidence, build trustworthiness, and start converting more than you can imagine. And I would also say that not knowing these three things is probably the biggest reason, especially not knowing and committing to who your target market is. I would say that's probably the biggest reason why your content isn't doing what you want it to do and it's not converting to sales, because people just can't work out if you're for them. And then it's like, oh, that's a nice piece of content, but it's not speaking to me, so I'm not going to do anything about it. But if you start speaking directly to that one specific person or group of people, then they are going to be able to resonate really quickly and they will take the next steps. If you can get focused on these three things and work them out, I guarantee you that you will feel minimum 10 times clearer and more confident in your business just through these simple shifts. And it will short circuit a lot of over analyzing, conceptualizing, indecision, worry, future tripping, because you then know what you should be focusing on and you stop trying to focus on everything at once and you just focus on the thing that you need. Also, if you're someone who's really sensitive to rejection, or you're very worried about how people perceive you, or you're worried about you have fear of being seen, this can really help with that, because you then are only worried about one kind of person's opinion and you would take their opinion on board, but you shut out and you put the blinkers on, the blinders on to everyone else. And if you have a lot of issues with people pleasing and trying to be for everyone, this can be an incredibly liberating thing to do in your business. And I love it, because if someone sends me some unsolicited bullshit freaking message giving me feedback and they are not my target market, I do not even, like, my brain just skims the message and goes, not for me. Bye. Good for you. Love to hear it. I'm glad. I'm so glad that works for you, babe. Not for me. If my target market sends me a message and goes, hey, I really don't like this piece of content. I really don't like the way you said that. I'll be like, okay, all right, tell me everything. Let's chat about it. And I will change what I'm doing in my business. But I'm no longer trying to do everything for everyone and trying to juggle everyone's opinions and projections. I'm just focused on this one person. And I am to the point I can say, hand on my heart, I kind of know her better than she knows herself. Yep. And guess what? That's you that we're talking about. So, especially if you struggle with indecision, overanalyzing, perfectionism, worried of rejection and things like that, you need to get these things sorted out. And good for you. You don't have to do coaching with me to get them sorted out. I have a step-by-step self-led course, workshop. I suggest that you do it over 4 to 5 weeks, but you could do it in 4 days if you wanted to. You could do it in 1 day if you wanted to. It's really affordable and it's currently on sale. It's the Brand Magnetism 101 training, and I will pop it in the show notes now. If you can't tell, getting to share this time with you is something that I find truly sacred. I know that you're busy, but if you've taken anything away from our time spent together today, could you extend the love and share this episode with a friend, your community, or on your socials? Tag me so that I can see it and I can share it too. Or when you have a spare moment, leave the podcast for review. These things cost you nothing and will mean so much to me. Let's get this resource into the hands of more women visionaries and help us collectively move towards our most aligned way of being and doing business together.